Hi everyone, it's Donna here from Blind and Knitting. Hope you're all well on this first week of spring. Blind and Knitting is my podcast, which is about how to manage knitting while blind and how to manage life. Life is a challenge, and I'm a social worker. I've been a social worker for 35 years, and I'm really passionate about people's mental health. How I help my mental health is by knitting, and so I realise the benefits of it. Been a knitter all my life. Started when my dad showed me how to knit when I was 4, because my dad knit, and then my mum taught me to knit future onto that. If you've watched my program before, my podcast before, lovely to have you back. If you're new and you enjoy it, please like, comment and subscribe down below. That would be great. Got a lot to say this time. It's been an incredibly busy 3 weeks. I try and podcast every 2 weeks, but it's just been too busy. I'm just going to straighten me up. I think I'm a bit crooked. It's better, I think. Yeah, so what's happening? Well, my goodness, happy birthday to me. I turned 60. Not sure whether to celebrate that one or not. So anyway, it was my birthday and I had a lovely day yesterday, but I had a very quiet day and I kept it very low key. I didn't sort of tell people my birthday was coming or anything like that. I just kept it very low key. And for me, it was a real time for reflection. I lost 2 of my closest friends, one at 52 and one at 57, one of heart attack and one of motor neuron. And it's been, you know, when you get to 60 and you've lost 2 of your closest friends very, very young, it's a real time to reflect. So that's what I've done. I've kept this a very low-key birthday and time to reflect. And the other thing that's happened is it's 5 years this week that I got Kenzie welcomed into my life. Being blind, I used to use a cane, and then I applied for a guide dog, which is a 2-year process, quite a process really. And Kenzie came into our life 5 years ago this week. So she's 7, so it took 2 years of her training, 2 years of my training for us to meet. And she's just been such a gem. Now I'm going to plant a little video right here now so that you can watch a little bit of Kenzie and say hello to her. So enjoy this. I have to get down on the ground because I wanted to show you our Kenzie. So Kenzie, oh, where are you there? There she is. Has been with our family for 5 years now. Yeah. So yeah, congratulations, celebrations, happy birthday, Kenzie. Hey, she knows that the camera's a weird thing and she's supposed to perform. So you're just being a little funny, aren't you? But yeah, so Kenzie's been with us for 5 years. She just works so well and she's just part of the family. Just part of the family, aren't you, girl? Anyway, that's Kenzie. Yeah, now she's going to come and perform love now. Yeah, so her bed is here, so she sleeps there on her big bed, great big comfortable bed, and one of her toys is Go the All Blacks, and she loves this toy. And look, she just thinks it's playtime now. She's got her arm down under me to play. I'll turn it this way. No, that way. So she's not going to perform and show a beautiful face to you, but anyway, that is our Kenzie. Yeah, and 5 years this week we've had her. She's 7 years old, so she's getting to be a little bit older now. Anyway, that's our Kenzie. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a little bit of Kenzie. I haven't shown her much on the podcast, probably because I'm up here and she's usually down, curled up asleep, snoring. You'd probably hear her more than anything in the podcast. So, and the third thing that's happened, aside from me breaking my toe, my little toe, it's been so sore, been limping around like an idiot. Anyway, these things happen, especially when you're blind. But the third thing that's happened, so my birthday, Kenzie's 5 years here, and Cairn. I went to Cairn, K-A-N. So I live in New Zealand, in the North Island, and once a year there is a knitting retreat called Cairn, Knit August Nights. That's the sort of logo for it, if you can read that. It was in Napier, which is a stunning place in New Zealand, and it's run by Skeins. Marie, who manages Skeins, runs it, and it's just first time I've been. I believe they've had 12. I could be corrected on that. They've even all gone. A group of them gone on a cruise together. So they've, it's a really, really lovely community. And this was my first year, but I went with Vicky, a friend that comes to our knit group, Y Knit, and so Vicky and I went toddled up together, and Vicky has been to almost every one, I think every one, but again I could be corrected, and so she was so used to everything, she had it all down pat, what to do, where to go, how to do things, which really helped me because it was my first year. It was really big. I don't know, I'm guessing there was probably a couple of hundred people, but I believe it's been bigger. So this was a smaller one. So for my introduction, that was quite nice, but I just had such a wonderful time. So I've got lots to show you that I've purchased one at Cairn, and so I'll just talk about it through my podcast. I won't do it all in one section. I'll just add it into the flavour of the podcast. But yeah, Cairn, just fantastic. If you do get the opportunity to go, book early. So I've when I paid for my motel this time, I booked for next year's already, so that's how keen I am to go back. So my motel is booked. Registration for Cairn comes out on the 1st of May next year, 2023. So I have that in my calendar to remind me. And yeah, I just had such a blast. It was really lovely. And I've said this about my podcast. One of the things that I do enjoy about my podcast is I feel like I'm talking to people who understand my language, my knitting language. If I start talking knitting to friends and family, they look at me like I'm talking a totally foreign language. So this last weekend, you could walk past someone and say, oh, that's a nice ranunculus, and oh, is that an 8-ply or a 4-ply, or you do that magic loop or circular needles, and everybody understood what you were talking about. But what a lovely group of women. I just feel I've made some really nice friendships, and look forward to communicating with them, and also how talented, oh gosh, there's some talent out there. So I will fill you in along the way. The first thing they did is they send you out this thing called Wagon Wheels, which is, I don't know, 10 pages or so, and it's sort of what to expect. So that was the first thing that came via email, and that sort of gave me some ideas. I mean, I really was lucky that Vicky had been before, so she knew lots of that. So I think that's pretty much what's the spring. The weather is stunning. When you look at the video of Kenzie and I, you can see out our ranch sliders. It's a beautiful day. My partner has just started getting into lambing, so lots of lammies bouncing around in the paddocks around our house, which is really nice to see. Spring's a lovely time of year. It's a busy time for farmers. Lambing can be challenging because it's lots of long hours, and you have to be like a midwife and a doctor and a vet and all wrapped in one. But it's a beautiful time. So FOs, well, wearing one. I just love this. I'm so happy with this. This is my anchor by Petite, oh gosh, isn't that silly? Petite Knits. Where's my pattern? I have talked about it considerably. It is 8-ply. It's really simple rib. I'll stand up so you get a full picture of it. So I've made it just a nice length there. just to my elbow, which I quite like that length of sleeve. It's got a little bit of positive ease in it. I figured being a 8-ply, I want a little bit of positive ease, so it's one of those ones I can wear on just a chilly day. I suppose I could probably not overly fussed on sleeves with under this length. So yeah, but I'm really happy with it. It's comfortable. Marie from Skeins, I led you astray because you commented on how lovely my jersey was, and I said, oh yes, it's one of your wool's fibres. It's not, I'm sorry, that was my fault. So I brought this fibre from, it's 100% pure wool, and I bought it from Uncle Bill's, and it was super cheap. It was $3.98 a skein, and I used 11 skeins, so you know that's a $45 jersey, and I mean it's lovely. It is a toothy wool, and the first time I put it on, I was like, oh gosh, I'm not going to cope with this. This is really scratchy. But I've worn it quite a few times. You know, I've worn it several times to work. I wore it at Cannes, and once you put it on, you don't even think about the scratch. It's just super comfortable. So I've really enjoyed knitting this. Now I did talk about it quite at length in the last podcast about the pattern, etc. So I won't go into too much detail, but love it. Love the colour. Love everything about it. So that's one FO. I've got two FOs to show you. My second FO, and this is my sock journey that I've been talking about, whether I would actually gain the passion or the love of making socks. I love wearing pure wool socks or homemade socks, but I haven't really gained the passion of making them. So this is my FO. I haven't got any sock blockers, so you know, you just see them as they are. I'll hold it up closer. So this is a self-striping wool. It's not what I expected. I don't like the wool. I bought it because the wool was called Gallipoli and it was made in New Zealand, and they donated money to the return services. So I brought it for its principle rather than its wool. However, I've worn these socks heaps and I really enjoy wearing them. So, and I did enjoy knitting them. Yeah, so maybe the sock mojo will happen. I think I can't say I've fallen in love with sock knitting, but I like the garment. So, you know, what do they talk about? The process and the product. Well, I'm definitely not so much the process, but the product. They're great for car knitting, which I've also discovered. So yeah, they're a funny colour, but they are definitely self-striping, and yeah, I've matched them really well, I think. Really happy with that. Did a heel. Oh, look at me, I'm starting to sound all technical on socks now. Heel flap and gusset. Blind as a bat, so I have no idea whether my heel flaps are right or not. So who cares? Toes, yeah, did really well. Did it all on 9-inch circulars, and the pattern, got cast on my next slot. I figured I'd do what people say and cast on straight away. Is called Vanilla Socks on 9-inch circulars by the Crazy Sock Lady, and her name is Kay Lytton, and it's just a really nice vanilla sock to learn from. And I have cast on my second ones, which is a self-striking tissue in there, charming. Self-striping. Have only just cast them on, as you can see. I've just started on the rib band, but I think they look really pretty. This was $20 for the skein. I haven't lost the tag. Look at that, it's in there. Sometimes I scare myself. It's crochet sock yarn, 4-ply, and I can't see it's super soft, so I'm guessing it's a merino nylon. I'm pretty sure it's a merino nylon because I can't read it. Sorry guys, but it's a crochet, and yeah, So that's my next pair. I started casting them on in the dark colour. I cannot do the tiny. This is really quite tiny. I've got used to doing it once it's cast on, but the casting on, it's a bugger. So, yeah, I had to unwind a bit of the wool to start with a pale colour so that I could see it better. It was the dark brown or burgundy in the stripes, but I've changed that. So, yeah, socks. I'm going to make sure I have some going all the time. Don't know if I like the process, but I do love the product. So I'll just keep them going. That's socks. That's my 2 FOs. Yeah, quite proud of those. Quite pleased with them. Sorry, I'm playing with my hair. Don't I need a haircut? It's gone all flat and heavy. I don't know, time. I just haven't done it. I did get a voucher for a hairdresser's, so for my birthday, which is lovely, from my sister-in-law. So I will book a haircut next week. And I'm drinking a Jara, which is like a fancy Milo, really. It's a Swiss Jara, which is a coffee Milo thingy, and it's lovely. It is Father's Day today too. I hope you've celebrated Father's Day with the men in your life. I cooked Stuart breakfast. He got a hearty breakfast of bacon and scrambled eggs from our own chooks and tomatoes and hash browns. So that was nice. He cooked me breakfast, and I got breakfast in bed for my birthday, and a huge bunch of daffodils from him, because he knows I love them. So that was lovely. So the next thing is all my whips, and so I've actually worked on every one of them, so I will show you where I've been and what I've done with my whips of recent. So we'll just go through one at a time. This is my Birkin, which is Caitlin Hunter. I'll get the pattern out so I make sure I get the details right. So it's Birkin by Caitlin Hunter. That's up there. And it's floral, round, top-down floral colour work, which I think I'm brave. 4-ply merino yak silk, so really slippery. 4-ply colour work, second colour work I've ever done. But I'm getting through it. It's really pretty. I'm going to love it when it's done. Again, I'm not enjoying doing it. It's not relaxing knitting. I'm actually sitting up and really... So I only do it when I'm in the mood. I'm not in any hurry for it. I'm just... Once I get past the colour work, it'll fly. Well, it's 4-ply, it won't fly, but it'll be a lot easier, I believe. Well, it will. So I love the wool. It is Helene from New Zealand, an indie dyer, and she is called Happy Go Knitty, and the wool is Mardi, and it is a merino yak silk, and I have made another jersey out of it, and I have another jersey lot ready for a striped jersey because I love the wool so much. It's just beautiful. So that's my Caitlin Hunter Birkin ticking along. I'll throw that over there so I can bring this up. This, I feel like I'm rushing, but I'm so excited. I've got so much to show you. I hope you're sitting down with your knitting and your hot drink. Yeah, because I do have a lot to show you, but it's all really exciting stuff. It's not 12 pair of socks, which annoys me when you watch a podcast and they've got 12 pair of socks. Is that mean? Is that awful? Sorry, guys. If that's you, I'm sorry. Also, my favourite podcast, Needles at the Ready, has just come up. So I've got some watching and some knitting to do this afternoon. This is my half and half wrap. And I've talked about this before. Where is my marker? I'll find out where my marker is to see how much I've done since last time we spoke. I can't even see it. And of course I've stopped halfway through a row, of course, haven't I? You know, typical. I'm loving it. It is super soft. It's a merino silk. Oh, there it is there. It's on the inside. So that's where I was last time, and that's where I am now. So I've done quite a bit. I did it in the car. I'm enjoying this as car knitting because it's only garter stitch. However, I have made quite a few mistakes, and it's very easy to catch the thread and split the thread. But so I've talked about this. I brought this second hand from Facebook. Came up as a, buy it for $20 or something, really cheap. Started it thinking I'd do a half and half. Realised when I started the cream that I'm not going to have enough for a whole side cream and a whole side brown. So what I've decided to do is the stripes. You can see quite big stripes for the first side. And then I thought, well, I'll get, and I was thinking mint green colour. But when I was at Skeins in Napier, which is the wool store, Skeins, New Zealand, they had this wool called Mahana, and it is an alpaca, premium New Zealand alpaca 4-ply, and it's just beautiful. And it's a really nice sort of rosy pink, sort of salmon pink, I suppose. And I fell in love with the three together. So, and this feels exactly like this. I know this is wool and this is alpaca, but they feel identical, and I think they'll knit up feeling, matching each other. And I love the two colours together. So the other side is going to be this pink colour. So I brought enough of that from Skeins. We went for the tour around the Skeins mill. It's the biggest wool mill in New Zealand, and wow, it was fantastic. I will pop in a couple of photos while I'm chatting along here, so you can sort of see some photos along the way, but I'll also put some on my Instagram. It was really interesting to see the whole process from collecting the wool. So they buy direct from the farmer, and they get the wool in the bales, and then they take it there, and then they do all the things you need to do, the washing, scouring, cleaning, making it into preparation to skein, and then dyeing and skeining it. And we just saw every bit, was shown around every bit, and it just blew me away. It was a very impressive production. So that's where I bought my pink wool from. So that's my half and half wrap, and a little bit about Skeins, the wool mill. We own our own sheep stud. So as I say, my partner's a farmer and he's got a sheep stud, and we breed Texels. Now Texels are not a good wool for knitting. They're maybe a carpet wool. They're not bred for their wool. They're not great. They don't produce lots of wool, and their wool is short and coarser. And so, it's not the greatest. And so hence you hear more of Merino and Romney and lots of other breeds coming up. Blue-faced Leicester is one that I hear a lot of over in the UK. So that's obviously a very popular one. So lots of different brands. So it was really fascinating seeing it from woe to go. I took a spinning class, so I can talk about that now. It's probably a good segue into the spinning class that I took. So where is my bits? I thought I would take a spinning class, because I'm not sure whether I can do it for a start with my sight issues. If you're new to me, and obviously the name of the show says that I'm blind, I am legally blind. I have retinitis pigmentosa, and I just have a wee tunnel of vision. So I can, when I'm looking at someone, I can just see their face. It's a bit smoky, but I can just see their face and I can see nothing else. So it's like looking through a toilet roll. So if you imagine you're just walking around the whole time with a toilet roll, so it's quite tiring. It's a challenging disability, but I tromp on as we do as humans. We manage it, and I'm determined to manage it with my knitting as well. So I thought I'd really quite like to do spinning when I retire, and I thought, well, can I do it? So I took this class thinking, well, there's a good taster, because I don't actually have to buy a wheel or anything. They had some spare there. So this lovely lady, Delene Mundy Bennett, took the spinning class, and that's all my notes from it. So thank you, Delene, because it was really good getting paper, digital ones so that I could, yeah, she was a great teacher actually. I really enjoyed the way Delene taught. We started with acrylic wool, you know, already brought acrylic wool, and we learned how to just put it through the machine and learn how to get the rhythm of our feet, and then how to spin it so that it, so we started with one colour and then we had two and we spun them together. So that's my acrylic wool that I spun together. Yeah, so that was the start, and that's how you started to learn. Then ta-ta-da, there is the little bit of, I did get some help, but there's my wool that I spun from this. So that to this. That is so cool. Yeah, I really, I can see myself doing it. I don't know if it's something I'll get really passionate about. I just don't know. But you can buy, so you don't have to do all of the tough stuff, all of the carding and that. You can buy it. Oh, I've forgotten what these are called now. Sliver, I think. So it's already, this is wool that's been carded and dyed, and it's ready to spin. So you can just buy it all sort of like that. Delene gave us a whole pillowcase full of different, different sort of wools, and she's named them all so that we can learn what they are. Hammermore Merino. So yeah, really enjoyed the class. My sister runs an op shop, and she says that wheels often come through the op shop. I said, right, well, now that I've tried it and I know I've kind of had a play and I think I can do it, you know, if something comes up, can you give me a yell and I'll come and buy it. And I said to my partner, if I get one and it's not quite working properly, are you able to fix it? And he said, I used to spin when I was young. Oh, well, so there we go. So that's going to be really handy. So that was the spinning class. And Delene, that's her business card there, Delene NZ. So she is a handcrafter in New Zealand. If you want to. She said that I was allowed to mention her, but only if I said that she was a bitch. So I've done it, Delene. I think you're watching. Loved your class. Great teacher. Yeah, really enjoyed that class. So, yeah. Let's see where that takes me. I don't know. I made the fatal mistake of asking somebody, so you spin. How long does it take you to spin enough wool to knit a jersey? And they said a month. And I went, oh. Just go to the shop and buy it. So I'm assuming they didn't mean a month full time. So that, yeah, I shouldn't have. Anyway, I did enjoy doing it, and it was fun. It was just something different, completely different, out of my wheelhouse, and fun, and well taught, which certainly helped. I did not feel silly at all. So what's my next whip that I'm up to? I'm just grabbing my bags, so because I'm not sure where I'm at. Now this here is I knitted Libby Johnson's Embers, and it was a colour work. I did it in a pretty pale minty green, and it had a colour in it that I loved called Chili, a skeins colour. This is a skeins wool that I brought while I was at the factory. It's a vintage, skeins vintage 8-ply, 100% pure wool. This is my third jersey I've knit, fourth. 1, 2, 3. This will be my fourth that I've knit in this wool. I've done one in 10-ply and the other 2 in 8. So I love the wool. It's a beautiful wool to knit. It's like knitting, it's just a beautiful, easy wool to knit. It's a nice 8-ply. Really enjoy it, and I knew I loved the colour, so I knew I wanted to go wanting chili. I think it's slightly different. I don't know if you, oh yeah, the colour's quite good. It's a little bit more burnt orangey brown than the one that I had originally, which was more of a burnt red, but I still love it. So I'd already planned, I said this in the last podcast, I wasn't going to go to Cairn I'd saved up a wee bit of money so that I was ready to go, but I did have in my head kind of what I need in my wardrobe, so that so I knew that if Chile was there and it was on special, oh, I can't remember how much a skein it was now. It was under $5 a skein. I think it was quite reasonable. And I knew I wanted a cardigan, just a plain cardigan that I can just throw on in spring, summer, on chilly nights. On chilly nights. So I'll get my chilly cardigan for my chilly nights. So that's what I've done. So I've started, and I've kind of made up the pattern. I've got one here that I've used as a base. And I don't know if I've got it here. Let me have a look. No, I haven't. It's an obscure pattern that I found, and basically all I'm doing is using the numbers. So it's just a simple plain cardigan, bottom up, seamless, with a drop sleeve, and just pick up. So but what I'm doing is I'm going to knit the bands on as I'm knitting, which I've done. So it's just a plain stocking stitch. It's knitting it beautifully. I started with I thought I'd do 4 mil. So my sweet spot is DK with 4 mil needles, but I wanted something that was a bit looser, I think, for spring. So I used a 4.5. So I've got a little bit more open, looser, which I like, fabric. It's about what I was thinking I wanted. It's just a relaxed, this is a DK, and I've done this on a 4 mil, and it's lovely, but I just wanted something a little bit more open and relaxed. So it's super simple, just a basic plain cardigan, knitting the ribs onto them as I go. I am making it up as I go, just using this plain pattern that I will tell you the name next week. Next podcast, I just haven't got it on me. I did have it printed out, but I don't know where it is. Is that up there? No. Anyway, I'll do next time. Yeah, so that is my wee thing. Although I've done the buttonhole. I've done one buttonhole. I'm just marking. When I do a buttonhole on one end, I'm going to put a marker in on the other end, so I know where to sew my button without having to count. But the only thing I've done a boo-boo, and this is I'll just go do it as I go. It's no biggie, and only a knitter would notice it, is my mother used to drill me about making sure that I had, the nice edges, and I had so I've done 8 stitches for the band, which means you've got 4 purl rows like that. But what I did is I did it back to front, didn't I? So my stocking stitch is that way, and my band right side is that way. So it means that my band has a rib at each side instead of, but what my mother would always say, after she drilled me about making sure that I'd done my cast on properly and my edges, a blind man would be pleased to see it. So it is back the front, but I'm really not one for ripping back unless it's a big boo-boo, and that's not. So just a basic cardigan, stocking stitch. Love the colour, love the wool, really happy with that. Those 2, where am I at? So that is, what have I done? I've done my Birkin, I've done my socks, I've done my half and half wrap, I've done my chilly cardigan. And what else have I got? What's in here? Gosh. Oh no, this is just my wool. This is just my wool. This is the next one I want to do. I love these. So maybe I am getting a little excited. Sunday socks. Now I could do with those. I don't wear slippers at home. I wear bare feet because I can feel and sense the different like carpets and mats and things, I know when I'm on different things. But in the winter, so I just wear socks so that I can still sense the ground. Much easier for me. Having said that, got a broken toe, so I didn't sense too well that day, did I? Slamming my foot into a door frame. But yeah, so I wear bare feet and or socks because I need to, I feel safer when I can sense the ground. So to me, this is a beautiful, you know, a house sock. So I'm going to give those a go. I think they're a 10 ply, but I have an 8 ply here that I've got several that I've got left from the stuff that I dyed when I went to Margaret from Squishy McDougall's dyeing class. But I also brought this at Margaret's Squishy McDougall. It's an 8 ply indie dyed merino nylon. So it took me a minute to get that out, didn't it? So it's just a pretty pinks and whites. So I think that will make lovely socks. And the other one that I did have when I brought the Gallipoli wool, as in the self-striping, I also brought that colour, which I like much better. These are more my wheelhouse colours. So I like that one much better. And so I'll put that aside for socks later. So that's, yeah, I think when I finished doing my 9 inches, I will just try and keep socks going because I like the concept of that. And so I can make a heck of a mess here. It's going to take me all afternoon to clean it up. I've got knitting to do. Why am I making such a mess that I have to clean up? Right. So those are all my whips. I've got so many things I want to cast on. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just chomping at the bit to cast on. I'm looking over there and there's another knitting bag. What's in there? Oh no, that's all right. That's my Birkin. I don't know. Anyway, but I do have all these ideas. And when I came back from Calm with all these wonderful ideas of what I could knit and of course what I've brought. So I have brought a few things. I was very controlled. I didn't sort of go out and go rah, which is what I thought I might do. So I have been quite controlled, and what I've done is I've really worked out what I can make so that I've got an idea. May not be, you know, what happens in the end, but certainly got a plan for them. So I can talk about those a bit now. Let's take a sip of coffee together because I'm getting a dry throat from talking. I do like that Jara. Oh, that's lovely. Right. So what I purchased. Well, the first thing I didn't purchase. They had a quiz. They had a quiz night, and I don't know if I expected it to be a knitting questions, but I joined the quiz night anyway because I love quiz nights. Even, you know, they're just fun. So. But they were all knitting questions, and I thought, this is going to be interesting. And they'd really done their homework. They had some pretty good questions. Like, for example, there was an earl or a lord that lost his arm, and he wanted someone to create a garment that he could wear comfortably with one arm missing. And so they created a shape that was comfortable for him, that he really liked, and his name was the Earl of Raglan. So that's how the Raglan came about. There's also the Earl or Lord, I can't remember if the Earls or Lords of Cardigan. So he invented the cardigan, and he was the Lord of a town called Cardigan over in Scotland or Ireland, somewhere over there. Yeah, there were some really interesting questions. In our table, woohoo, our table, go our table, it won. So we won the quiz, which was even a bonus. Didn't we do well? And we all got a prize. We all got a hank of skeins. It's 100% wool, 8 ply, and it's the skeins from the skeins factory. Now they're trying out, and I don't know the process. I did see part of it at the mill, but I didn't see how they actually did it. But it's It's like an indie dyed, but they're doing it on at a commercial level. So we all got a skein of this, and it's really quite pretty. It's purples and greens. It's not colours I'd choose because I'm a spring summer colour person. If you know anything about your colours, you'll understand if you're in an autumn, winter, or a spring summer. So it's not a colour I would choose, but it is pretty. So I have an idea for this because I have this pattern that I've had for a long time. Here's my pile of patterns that I've printed out. And it's this one. It's called the Rubicon Pointed Shawl. Now my printer was starting to run a little bit out of ink, so what I might do is I might try and put a photo in, but there's a photo of it. Rubicon Pointed Shawl is by Erica Sufka, Sufka. Sorry if I've mucked that up. And it is I will put a photo in here if I can, because it is a stunning shawl. It is striped, sort of murky stripes and then burgundy stripes. So it's, and some of it's lace and some of it's garter stitch. And so I thought this could be my murky part, and I can do maybe a burgundy or even that sort of gold or green. It's kind of got the colours of what's the word I'm looking for? Patina, sort of a patina look, sort of that murkier colours. Yeah, not my wheelhouse, but I do love this, and I've said wheelhouse too many times. It's not my colours, but I'm going to do that. So there's that one ready to go. Rubicon, it's designed, Erica wrote in here that she has created this shawl so that it will use exactly 2 hanks, and she's deliberately made the pattern so that you will use all of your hanks. So I just need to find another hank of a nice second colour. So that is ready and waiting in my list to go. Now, purchases. There was a real honey of a lady called Diana. Diana is, here's her card. I've crunched it up, sorry. She even gave us a free pattern, God bless her. So we got a free pattern. Diana McDougall, and she is called Perfectly Imperfect Twist. And so I downloaded her free pattern, which is this one here, Friendly or Posh Dragon. And now it's a shawl as well, but it's a shawl that looks, this is the bit, almost looks like a cardigan. So it sits over the shoulders and looks, that's the one I like up the top here, if you can see that. Yeah, so I bought from her this stunning wool, and it's I'm actually even scared to, it's come apart, scared to open it now. I haven't read the card. It's like a 1-ply lace, and I can't read that. So that's giving instructions to pull hair from here. It is the most gorgeous pink, and it is a 1-ply lace. She had knit a top in it. Not sure if it's actually was this top or not that I bought the pattern for. It was one of hers. So I bought this from her. I bought 2. And I'm going to put those with this pattern, Friendly or Posh Dragon. It says, which one will you choose, friendly or posh? So I haven't actually finished reading the pattern, so there may be slight differences. Oh gosh, the labels are coming adrift. So that is mohair, lace weight mohair, which I've never knit before. That'll be interesting. So Diana, yes, I'm going to make your pattern with the wool I brought from you. Well, that's the plan. I'll have to find something to hold it with. I need to read the pattern more. You know, I just decided, pardon me, I would have ideas, and it just seemed a natural thing to And I will put all these links below, guys, too. So if you don't run around looking for a biro now, I will put all these links down below so that you can find these wonderful people. Yeah, Diana McDougall, Perfectly Imperfect Twists. Looking forward to knitting that pattern. I was watching some podcasts during the week, and there's a few that I really love, and I do like to sort of mention them, the ones that I really love. And one that I've started watching that and thoroughly enjoying is called Nitty Stew, S-T-E-W. Now, she's a stewardess who travels around America in planes, obviously. And while she's having her layovers at towns, she'll give you a little show of where she's staying, but also her knitting. So she's lovely. It's a really nice, I will link it below. It's a really great podcast to watch. She's very affable and very easy to watch. And she was making these, the pattern is actually a washcloth, leaf washcloth. I don't want to show too much of the pattern, if you can see that. So they are a face cloth shaped like a leaf, and they've got little stalk on it. But she'd made them into, instead of a face cloth, she'd made them into cup coasters. And she was going to give them as gifts with a lovely pottery cup and the handmade leaf coaster. I just loved that idea. I thought, oh, that is such a beautiful idea. So I've got the pattern. I've got so much 8-ply little bits and pieces floating around that I thought I would start by knitting those. But it does say that they're for a washcloth for your face, and I do use cotton washcloths, so I can make some cotton ones of that. But I crocheted some dishcloths recently, and I think I've shown them on a few podcasts ago, and I like them, but I made them in this fawny colour, sort of what do you call it, taupe colour, and it always looks dirty. They're not, they're clean, but because of the colour they just look dirty. So I'm not happy with that. So I need to make myself some new, and the second part of that is because of my sight challenges, they do blend into my bench, and I keep going, where's the dishcloth, and having to scan for the dishcloth. So I've got some bamboo wool in my stash that I thought I could make some dishcloths with, that and it's bright orange, a hot bright orange, and I think there's a hot pink as well. So I thought I'd make some new dishcloths, and should be able to see those easier. But I wonder about making them in the leaf shape. Sort of give it a try. Quite cool. So they are called the Leafy Washcloth, and they are by Megan Goodacre. Yeah, so if you want to make those, or if you want to watch the Nitty Stew, I recommend her podcast as well, and I'll link those down below. So that's those ones. Right, what else did I get? We're nearly through. I was quite restrained. We did get as a freebie, so what we got when we arrived was, and I can't find it now, is a lovely calico bag with Khan written on it, and it was here. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. So, oh, no, I can't get it because it's hooked under the... I've got you on an ironing board on top of a container that's got my Wheatie bags and Wheatie sacks in it, so I'm not moving you. So we got a lovely calico bag, and with a whole lot of gifts and little bits and pieces, like a lollipop, and there was lollies, and there was lovely little bits of, this one here, firstly, I'll say this, talk about this one first. This is by a woman called Mary Self Textiles. Now, I didn't meet this lady there, and she's given this little freebie, which is a tiny wee piece of pretty, I would say, like a silk. And she's given us the pattern for a little carnation. I don't know if it's knitted or not. I just actually, to be honest, I looked at it this morning, and I thought, oh, this, because I thought, oh, I wonder what I could use that for. And I thought, oh, it's not a lot I could use that for. And then I looked at it and I went, Mary Self Textiles and a silk carnation. So it's a lovely little bit of silk, and the pattern to make a carnation, a knitted carnation. So isn't it cute? So I didn't meet you, Mary. If you're watching my podcast, I don't think I met you, but that is so cute. I'm definitely going to put that in my to-do pile. I hope I can manage it. It's a good colour for me to be able to see, so I might be okay with that. This was another little freebie, and this is a new wool by Skeins called Roving, and it's an 8-ply wool, and I don't know the composition. I can't read it. I'm sorry. I'm going to put it in. I'll put it in the. It's beautiful. It's lovely and soft. It feels like it's got something in it, like alpaca, possibly. I'm sorry. I should have done my homework, and I didn't. But it's a cool colour, and yeah, that was a freebie in their new range called Roving. Salesman I'd never make, I don't think. The fun irony is that I'd spent the first 10 years or so of my working career as a saleswoman, Bernina sewing machines. Yeah, it was the Bernina, what a wonderful machine. I used to sell sewing machines. So where am I? Oh, these two. Oh, this is Fibre to Go. Fibre to Go is, I'll show you her card, is an indie dyer. Oh shit, where is the, that's not the best card to show you, that one is. That's her card, Fibre to Go. Again, I'll link her down below. Her name is Lyn Walsh. Now, I think I brought Fibre to Go wool years ago. I think my first 2 pair of socks are Fibre to Go. I'm not 100% sure, but that logo really, I feel like that's the logo that the wool that I made my socks years ago was out of. And so I allowed myself a couple of hanks of just anything that I loved without thought of what I was going to make with them. Oh, my colours. These are my colours. So there's a speckled one, and there's a, oh, what do you call that one? A not one that's kind of bits. I know it's got a name, and menopause takes words out of my brain. But yeah, Fibre to Go. It's 100 grams, 200 meters. It is 8-ply merino, wool based, and it is beautiful. Absolutely my colors. I just love creams and golds and browns and caramels. Oh, so I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I'd like to make something, obviously. But thank you, Lyn from Fibre to Go. I fell in love with those immediately and grabbed those, and they were a jolly good price too. $20 each. You know, there's a lot of work goes into dyeing this stuff now that I know. So that's, it's good. So I think I thought about something to make with that. Now, I did question making another anchor. I haven't got enough. I'd have to get some more colours to go with it, but that wouldn't be a problem because I'm going to play with dyes myself. This is a jersey that a lady was wearing, a young woman that I was chatting to was wearing, and I fell in love with this jersey. It's held together with mohair, but you wouldn't have to. And I just said to her, I have to have the name of that jersey so that I can do it. Now, it was Espace Tricot, which is a well-known yarn and pattern place, and the name is Calliope, and it's a fairly simple a jersey. It had super long rib arms, so the rib went right up to about here, and then it had rib small, not quite as much as this, but it's a smaller amount around here, and she'd had it quite cropped. I'm too old for cropped, but you had quite a wide rib. So it was based on sort of very similar to this, you're using the rib as the pattern. I fell in love with it, fell in love. So I've just got the pattern. I couldn't work out the weight of the wool, but the gauge is 20 stitches. So to me that kind of says Aran, or DK with mohair, or yeah, so I guess as long as I get gauge. Now I fell in love with that, and I got the pattern for that, and just on the last day they had this great big market, and there would have been 20 to 30 stalls. I believe there's usually more with the bigger amount, but you know, that's when you could go wild, and I had to restrain myself, but I did buy. So there was a lovely lady there that was selling off her, so she was getting rid of some of her stash. She was stash busting, and I fell in love with this. It's called Sheska. It's 100% alpaca, 12 ply. Oh, and the colour is just scrummy, just scrummy. So it's 100% alpaca, so you can imagine what it feels like. It is, and she only had 10 skeins, but 12 ply. I think that would probably. I usually take 14 skeins for a good length 8 ply jersey. And this was 10. This was 10 skeins. No, 11 skeins, that's right. So I went back and brought 2 more because I was worried. I bought 10, went back and brought 2 more because I was worried, and I've still got 1 left. So I think this will make a really nice something. Not sure what, but I just fell in love with the colour. It's just the most, just, you know, some colours you just, you want to yum out. This is one of those colours. So, Christine, her name was, so thank you, Christine, for destashing. I don't know if you've got any more, but if you had a couple more, I might put on the keen thing, if you do have a couple more, for my own peace of mind, 2 skeins would be good. So I might give you a message. So that's that one. I fell in love with the Paloma tea pattern. I haven't printed that one off, but that is one that I brought last year. I brought some 100% cotton in a lovely caramelly taupe colour, creamy caramel colour, and so yeah, I thought I might make the Paloma out of that. But as you can see, I've got a lot of projects ahead of me, so I have to plan around the seasons, I think. So the Paloma and the 100% cotton sounds logical. Happy with my cardigan, because I'll need a cardigan just to be able to throw over, you know, on a cooler night. I think knitting socks and shawls will be the thing to do in the summer. I hope we don't get it, but if we follow in the lines of the UK and America, heat waves may be on the way. Yeah, thankfully we have solar and an aircon, so you know, they can both work together for us if there's a lot going on. I think, no, still a couple of things. Not wool. There was a lovely lady, Rayne, who had a stall, and her stall is soap by Rayne. She's got a Facebook page, so I bought one of her soaps. She had the most exquisite smelling soaps, but this one has got kawa in it. So I suffer with psoriasis, so I thought, and I have made homemade soaps, and I do buy a friend of mine's homemade soap, so I jumped at the chance to get someone else's, so with kawa in it, hopefully will be helpful for my skin. So if it is, I will be buying more off you, Rain. So yeah, check her Facebook page, I will link it below, and yeah, that's her card. Can you see that? Yeah. So that was a wee purchase that I look forward to. And the last little purchase was, because I'm trying to get into the sock mojo, is a sock measurer for the feet. So you lay your feet on there, your heel on there, and you can mark where all your families, I can't read those, but I'll get Stuart to read them. It doesn't matter. I'll just mark where all of the families' feet are. $10. And the lovely lady's name was Rae, and her business is the cutest name, Walnut Cottage. Again, I will link that below. She had the most awesome stuff. She had little stitch counters, like you could put little pins and move them along stitch counters. Lots of sock blockers. That could be my next purchase if I carry on with this mojo. She also made, oh god, here I'm saying this is last. I'm just about finished, guys. These gorgeous, gorgeous bags, project bags. So I could not resist. They're reversible. They've got a pocket in there. They're reversible, so the inside has got these little tiny bees, and it's got another pocket, so you could put it inside out, although I just like, really handy because I'm now getting into car knitting. I can just pick it up like that. My risk is that I've got them overflown. That's where my Japanese knot bags are better. So I brought 2 of Rae's bags. Aren't they just beautiful? And they were, I can't remember, but they were cheap. Too cheap. I shouldn't say that because I want more. $25 each. And she's even hand sewn the bias binding. I mean, that's beautiful. Well done, Rae. Anyway, really happy with those. I probably wished I'd brought a couple more, but I can always contact you. I've got your card now, can't I? Walnut Cottage, which is way cute. Oh my goodness, I think that's it. You should see the mess. Anyway, shows that I've had fun. I should probably finish now because this has probably gone on for a long time, and I'll tell you what, I'll be really cross if it hasn't worked, if it hasn't recorded, because that was a marathon. Yeah, so I'll see you in a couple of 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I can't promise, but 2 to 3 weeks. It's still quite cool in the evening, so it's still lots of lovely knitting weather, which is great. Let you know where I've put markers where I've shown you where I'm at, so you can see my progress on my whips. I don't think my Birkin will be one that'll be in a hurry, or my half and half wrap. They're 2 that I'm going to potter along with. So my cardigan, my chili, I'm going to call it my chili cardigan because I'm just making the pattern up using another one, the base of another one, and the wool is called chili. So I'm just going to call it a chili cardigan. So my chili cardigan, I'm hoping to make a good chunk of, and I need to start something. I've got my socks going, but yeah, I'm hearing a shawl say cast me on. So I might cast a shawl on. Yeah, and I think that'll be enough to keep me going because I don't want to overwhelm myself. But boy, oh boy, did I have a lovely time at Cairn. Vicky, I really enjoyed your company. You were fantastic, and thoroughly enjoyed the weekend with you. Marie and Libby and Ethan were the main tutors, and Lisa, I went to Lisa Craig's workshop on how to on design and how to make the most out of your creativity. Got some great tips and ideas there. Got some fantastic app which I used yesterday on how to create stripes. So I can't remember what, I'll put it in the link below because I've forgotten what it's called and it's on my phone. But Lisa is a designer and she makes predominantly babies' clothes and children's clothes, and she's now bought her own wool line out as well, which was exquisite. It was like butter. I I'm going to buy some. I have got it written down. I will talk about her in the future because I'm pretty sure that'll be wool that I'll purchase. Lisa F, her designs are. So if you want to go and have a look at her, Lisa F, but her name is Lisa Craig, and stunning baby patterns, stunning wool. Really enjoyed her workshop, got some great tips on it. The best one was this app. That's what I was saying, this app. So if you want to knit something striped with lots of stripes in, and you can't work out what colours, what direction to put them in, or how many, how many rows of each stripe and which colours you should put in which order, this app was so simple. You just click the colours that are as close as possible to the ones that you want to put in, depending on how many. Say you've got 8 colours, so you click 8 of these colours that are as close as possible. You click how many rows you think you would like, and then you click whether you want random colours or whether you want sequenced colours, and then it comes with like a swatch on your phone of what it would look like with those colours. Yeah, great idea, because I'd love to knit a striped cardigan, but I'm scared. I don't know, I just have this awful thought that the stripes would be weird. And there were several other apps that Lisa recommended, and I will link them all below because it's just too many to talk about. But if you love knitting babies' clothes, I recommend Lisa's patterns. She's got some fantastic ideas, and I really enjoyed your workshop too, Lisa. Thank you. I missed out on so many of the workshops that I couldn't go to. Couldn't go to Ethan's because I missed out. Couldn't go to Libby's because I missed out because I was too late. But I have got it set on my phone. So if you're a knitter, if you've never been, I recommend it. If you go every year, hi. Remember me, the one with the guide dog. And yeah, and if I bought from you or learnt from you or made a connection with you, I will put it all down below. Anyway, bye for now. Have a great week. Catch you next time.